Roger Hamilton, social entrepreneur based in Bali and the founder of XL Group and XL Nation, which is a community of social entrepreneurs all over the world.
Thanks. Tell me a time, Roger, when you experienced heaven on earth.
I would say last week I did. In fact, it was about 3 days ago when I was in Canada with my daughter, and we were on a little rowboat rowing around one of the little islands on one of the lakes in one of the parks, in one of the national parks of Canada. And for me, that was very special, not just because it was beautiful, but I was there with my daughter, and there was no disturbance, meaning there was nothing there was no ripples in the reality that I was experiencing at that time. And for me, that's heaven. That's the purity of just being present for the moment.
Imagine you have a magic wand and can create and have heaven on earth. What's heaven on earth for you?
I actually do have a magic wand, but I would say it doesn't exactly look like a wand. It looks more like a pair of goggles. I'd say, as well as having a pair of heaven goggles, I have a pair of hell goggles, and it's kind of interesting in any situation. I'll try and put both of them on and see what things look like. And in my view, it's part of doing anything, part of being an entrepreneur is in any opportunity that you have, or any new business you might start, you put on the heaven goggles and you can see what things would look like if they were perfect. But you'd also put on the hell goggles just to make sure that you also could see what things would look like if they weren't going so well, and whether you're okay with that. If the answer is yes, and they both work out, then you're probably on the right track.
And through the heaven goggles, what do you see?
Heaven goggles, what I see when I look at the world in general, is I see a world where every day there's amazing beauty happening. If we just basically see it and we're experiencing it and we're not getting too caught up in the exceptions and things. And I also see amazing people doing amazing things. There's no question that there's an element of everything. It's like, as an architect, architecture is all about not just the light, it's about the shadows, it's about how you organize form in such a way that you create contrast. And what I see is that we have a world today where there are a lot of issues, but those issues are actually bringing out the best in many people. So for me, that is heaven on earth. Not that everything's perfect, which means there's nothing to challenge us and nothing to actually show us just how good we can be, but where there's always going to be challenges, but ones where we are able to align with each other in ways that can really make a difference, and that we're spending our time more facing those challenges head on and really lifting ourselves to a life of purpose, rather than complaining about them or saying there's nothing we can do to change them.
Give me, if you would, a couple of simple, easy things you can do or you will do in the next 24 hours to create more of that heaven on earth.
I start every morning as I did this morning, and this morning I was looking over the New Mexico mountains, and I start every morning by creating that heaven on earth for myself. I know it's different for every person, but my personal way of doing it is I sit for about half an hour and I ask myself 8 really simple questions. I won't give you all 8, but I'll give you the first 5. And those first 5 start with 3 that get me totally present to just the heaven all around me. And the first question I always ask myself is, why am I grateful? Am I grateful for being here? My second question is, who do I love? And that always brings the heaven right into my heart. And the third question is always, why am I so happy? It's pretty difficult to ask that question and not smile. And once I've asked those 3, I'm totally present to the heaven around, and that allows me to then move in the direction of that heaven. And that takes me to the 4th question, which is, what am I responsible for? Because when I become very clear on what I'm responsible for, it lifts myself to a bigger game. And then my final question, number 5, within the first 5, is how committed am I towards that? Sometimes I'm responsible for something and I'm not really honest about how committed I am. And when I actually reassess that and I get myself on the right path, then it means that I know for the rest of that day, I've got my heaven goggles on, and I can actually look at not just experiencing heaven, but creating it for as many people around me as I can as well.
Thanks, Roger.